Hello guys, welcome to Go Do Micro Projects. In this application, we're going to load a JSON API to build a comment app. We're using React Hooks and Redux. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following. 1. npm install Redux. 2. npm install React Redux. 3. npm install Redux DevTools extension. And 4. npm install Actions. With all said and done, let's begin. Thank you very much. Let's begin by creating 3 folders in our SRC folder. So I create the first one and call it assets. Create the second one and call it components. Then create another one and call it Redux. So that is that. Let's go to the first one, asset. Now over here we're going to talk about the spinners and other images we're going to use in the application. But for this particular application, we don't need any image or spinners. So let's move straight to components. So components, let's create another folder and call it comment folder. Okay. Now inside comment folder, let's create a file and call it comment.js. Sorry. .js. So with our boilerplate, RAFCE, get boilerplate. Now instead of ordinary div, why don't we make it react.fragment? So react.fragment. Okay, then inside that we can say h1 tag. Then we say hello. Okay. Now let's link that to the app.js to view on the screen. So we go to app.js, then we say comment. Good. Now let's import comment. So we say import comment from where? From components, then comment folder, then comment.js. So that is that. Let's check our screen if everything is working. Great, we have hello on the screen, meaning we're ready to go. So to continue, let's go to check our structure for the application. Now in this application, I want us to have a card, and inside the card we're going to have the header. Okay, then we have the body, but with the body I want us to have a comment box like this. Okay, this way and on and on and on. So that is that with the setup. But also with the page setup, I want us to have let's say three 6 3 6 3, so that we can work in the middle region. That is the page setup too. So that is that. Let's begin. We can close the app.js and go to the comment.js. We take this off, create a div, then we give it a class name and call it row. Good. So inside the row, let's create another div, give it a class name and call it call md3. Now we copy that and create an md6. Okay, so this way. So inside that, now we leave the 3 blank and we'll go work in the 6. That will give us the middle region. So inside the 6, what we do, we create a div, give it a class name and call it card. So now we have our card ready. We need a card header and the body. So let's give it a div. Let's call it class name card header. Okay, copy that to good card header, and let's make the second one card body. So that is that. Now let's take the first one, card header. With the header, let's create an h3 tag, and call it comment app with JSON API. Let's check the screen if we have that. Great. Where we have that, so let's give some margin tab and center it. Okay, so we say at row we can say empty, empty 3. Then let's make it bold. Okay, so we say last name equals font weight bold. That's good. Now we center it, so let's go to card and say test center. So that is that. Let's check it again. Great. I think it's getting pretty nice. Now let's go to the body. Okay, the body, what do we need? Now with the body, as I said, we need, let me create a section here. Now with the body, let me comment it here and say body section. Okay. Now with the body, as I was saying, we need create a div for the container, the comment container. So let's create a div and say class name and call it comments container. Now next, inside the container, what do we need? We need another div and give it a class name and call it comment box. Okay, now the comment box, we also need, inside the same container, we need another div that we're gonna call triangle. So over here we call this one triangle. So in the comment box we have two divs. We have the comment box and we have the triangle. So we go to our CSS to create the what do you call it, the width and height of the comment container. Then from there we move to the comment box and the triangle. So from here let's go to our CSS. Good. Our CSS is ready. Let's say comment container. Container. Okay. Now in the comment container, so let's give that a width of 500 pixels. Give it a height of 150 pixels. Then we give it a background color of, let's say, red. Okay, now let's check the screen. Let's check it out. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what we need. So next to do is to create the comment box. So let's see how to do that. We go to, we'll say comment box. Now with the box too, let's give it the same width. So we're giving it, say, 500 pixels. Give it a min height of 100 pixels. A background color of hash 137586. Now let's create a border around the comment box. So we say border 1 pixels, solid, and let's give it the same color. Okay, what is one? Oh, sorry. Good. So next, let's check the screen out. Great. So what we need to do is what? How do you call it? Give it a border radius. Okay. So we say border radius 10 pixels. Then give it a position absolute. Let's check it again. Good. Good. This is it. So now we're done with the comment box. Now the next thing to talk about is the triangle. So let's take the triangle. So we say triangle. Let's give this triangle a position relative. Okay. So let's give it a width 0, and a height 0. Then we give it a border. The border, let's give 25 pixels, thick, solid, and blue. Okay, so let's check it out. You can see how it is. So now we need to bring it somewhere here. Okay, so let's do that. Over here we can say if it top 100 pixels, left for 20 pixels. Let's check it out. Let's see. Great. Now this is now a square, so let's make it look like a triangle. So let's see how to do that. Let's give it border top color, yeah, the same color like the comment box. So let's copy that, give it, and we give the second one border right color, border right color, the same thing. Good. So now let's check it out again. Good. You can see. So that is that with the triangle. So now what we need to do is to just make the comment container transparent and the triangle to transparent. Okay, so then we give you some margin bottom. Okay, let's check it out. So the blue, no more blue, let's make it what? Transparent. Then we go up there to the red, let's make it transparent. So that is that. Let's check it again. You can see it. Good. So now let's add some margin bottom to it. So we go to our comment box container and then we say margin bottom 20 pixels. Good. So that is that. Let's check it again. Great. So what we need to do is center everything. Okay. So to do that, I can just say with the body, I'll say MX auto. Let's check it out. I see it is centered. So I can add more, copy the whole body, yeah, the whole body. I can add another, sorry, not a, I can, the container, sorry, the container. So I can copy the container twice. You see, I mean thrice. Let's check it out. You can see, so we have something like this. Now let's give it a dummy text to see. So we go to our comment box, and give it let's give it h5. Okay, so let's say h5, then inside h5 let's give the class name equals font weight bold. Then inside that we can say I am happy. Yeah. Now let's check that. Good, I am happy. Now we need to make this I am happy also centered. So let's do that. Let's go. Okay, let's give it a card. Then we say justify content center. Now let's check it out again. Great, it's having centered for us. So likewise, we can just do the same for the others too. So let's check it out. Container, we don't know this. So I can just copy the new one 3 times. Container, okay, full container. So we copy. Then we go down. Yeah, let's check it out. You can see. So our body is ready. Now let's add some color to the header. So with the header, we go to our CSS and say card header. Let's give it a background color of 464723. Get then color white smoke and color white smoke here. Let's check it out. Great. So that is that with our page setup. So I think now we are ready for Redux. So we can close this, comment app. Before we go to Redux, I can take all this off. We don't need them. We only need one. Okay. I think we have our one. So that is that. We're ready for Redux. So we can close this too and go to Redux. To begin our Redux, let's create a file and call it store.js. Now inside that Redux folder again, let's create another file and call it reducer.js. So inside that, let's create another folder and call it comment redux. Okay. Now inside the comment redux folder, let's create a file and call it comment dot action types js. Then let's create inside the same comment redux folder again. Let's create another file and call it comment dot actions.js. Inside the same comment redux folder again, let's create another file and call it comment dot dot reducer. Okay. .js. So that is that. Now let's take let's take the first one, action types. Talk about types of actions. Okay, so we talk about the type of actions. We say export const, and put it into bracket, load data request. Request into bracket, load data request, the same thing. Good. Now we need the same thing, then we call it success and failure. Okay, so the next one will be load data success. Likewise, this is success. The last one is going to be failure. Good. So that is that for the action types. So next is to go to the actions. Okay, comments.actions. The first thing to do is to import the action type. So we say import the action type. So import into bracket, load load data request, load data success, and the last one, load data failure. Good. Imported from where? From action types. Okay, that is that. So ready? Good. So next is to import issues from where? Issues from Azure, like that. Next, so next we export const load data, okay, which equals to function that will return what? An async wait, asy, I get async into bracket dispatch. Good. So we are ready for async await. So at dispatch, we need a try and catch, and catch, tch, catch, try and catch. Do it like this. So let's see. Catch what we catch, and catch the error. So that is that. Before I forget, then I try. What do we need? We need to make the request. So to make the request, we say dispatch what? Dispatch what? Dispatch a type called load data request. We need to call our URL. So we select data URL be equal to, good. Okay, our URL, let's go to our URL. Let's go to Google and type JSON placeholder. Okay, now with the JSON placeholder, we go to our API. You go down there, you have API for comments. Open that, then we copy this link as our API. So that is that, the data URL. So next thing to do is to let response be equal to await issues dot get into bracket data URL. So we can now finally say dispatch what? Dispatch the type what? Load data success. Load data success, comma, the payload response dot data. So that is that with our load data. So next is the error. Now with the error, we dispatch into bracket a type load data failure, and a payload, and a payload, and a payload error. So that is that. So next we move to comment the reduce. Now over here, first thing is to import our data types again. We've done it in action, so let's go copy it and just go and paste it there. So I'll just go there, I'll paste it here, and I'll take the as use off. Good. So we're ready to go. So next is to create a feature key in the store. We say export const. Let's call our feature key comment key. Comment key equals what? Comment store. Okay. So that is that for our feature key in the store. So in the store, we're going to have comment store inside the store. So next is to create an initial state. We say let initial state equal to what? Let's take the data. Let's create an empty array for the data. Give it comma. Then we say loading. Loading, what we say? We say false. Then we say comma. Then we say error message. Error message. Let's give it empty string. So that is that for the initial state. Now we can now say export const comment reducer into bracket. Let's create the function And inside that, we can now say state be equal to what? Initial state, comma, action. We can continue to say that let type, comma, payload equal to action. Good. So now we're ready for a switch statement. You can say switch into bracket type. So let's call a case load data request. Now a case load data request, what do? Now let's return what? Return the state back, come on, and make loading true. Okay, so that is that for a case of load data request. Now let's check another case of load data success. I can just copy this, say case load data success. What do? We call the state back, give us the state back as usual, then make loading this time false, then come on, then say data should be given the value payload. Okay, so that is that for case load data success. Now let's go to the next one, load data failure. Now with load data failure, give us the state back as usual, then make the error message give it the value payload, give it payload. So that is that. Finally, we can now return our default state. So we say default should return return state. So that is that. Then we are set for the comment reducer. So next is a comment, the root reducer. Okay. So to begin that, let's import the comment reducer. We import brackets comment reducer from where? From Redux. Then comment.reducer. Get job. Next, we import combine reducers from Redux. From Redux. So lastly, we can say let's root reducer equal to combine reducers to bracket, let's call the key, say comment key, given a value comment reducer. So that is that. We can finally export export root reducer. Now export root reducer to where? To the store. Okay, so we go to the store and we import our root reducer. So we say import root reducer from where? From root reducer. So next is to import create store and apply middleware from Redux. So next we also import compose with dev tools from Redux DevTools extension. Lastly, we import tank from Redux tank. Good. So we can now say let's middleware be equal to, let's create an array of middleware tank. Then we can say let's store be equal to create store into bracket root reducer, comma, compose with dev tools into bracket apply middleware into bracket. We call our middlewares 1 2 3. We call it middle. Why this? 3, okay. 3, then we say middleware. That is that. So that's what we did. We just call the middleware this way. We may make, instead of bringing a thank you and direct, we want to make this create a space for further. In future, we can apply more middlewares to it. Okay. Instead of bringing the thank you, we just need to create an array so that we can have more middlewares being added in the future. In the future, if you want to add another middleware, just bring comma and import the middleware and bring comma, then you just put your middleware here. That's all. Then go. So that is that. So next is to export our store. What is wrong with the export? Our store. Good. So that is that. Export the store to the app.js. We go to app.js, import our store. So we say import store from where store is in Redux. Okay. Go to store. Like that. We also need to import provider from where? Now from React Redux. So that is that. Now let's wrap the provider around the component. So we say provider. Inside that we can have a store equals store. Let's cut this side, take it to the bottom. So that is that. Good. So our store is also ready. Now let's check our screen to see if there's any issue. So we go to our screen. It's saying something here. It's saying, okay, let me run it first. It's saying something. It says store the middleware is not defined. Middleware is not defined. Store middleware line 9. Middleware is not defined. Let's go to line 9. Store middleware is not defined. Line 9. Okay, let's go to line 9. Middleware is not defined. Middleware. So your middleware is caps. Okay, capital W. Middleware. So that is that. Let's check the screen again if there's another issue. Great, there's no issue. So quickly let's check our store. Go to the store. Check our store. Good, everything is well set up. So next thing to do is to link the store to the component. Okay, so let's see how to do that. You can close all this. We are done with them. The JS, the types. Go to our component. Comment the JS. Good. Now comment the JS. Now let's import use effect. So we say use effect ECT. Use effect. This way. Then we also import use selector. Comma, and use dispatch from React Redux. So that is that. So let's initialize our dispatch. We say initialize dispatch. Let's comment, okay. Let's initialize our dispatch. So we say over here, we say dispatch. Sorry, we say let dispatch equals use dispatch function. So our dispatch is initialized. So what we need to do next is to call use effect. So we say use effect into bracket which should give us a function, and inside that we can have our empty array. Good. Then inside that can now call our dispatch. We say dispatch what? Dispatch load data. Our load data is comment dot actions. This load data. So we need to import this load data. So we go to back and we say import load data from where? No, yes, from Redux. Then we go to next one, command Redux, and go to dot actions. So that is that. Let's see if there is any complaint. Go to our screen again, run it, and go to our store. Our store is here. Great, we got data. We got data in the store. You see, we got data in the store. Now, to make things easier to go, instead of going to the store back and forth, let's link the store to the component so that we can view the store on the component. That makes it more easier for us. We can view the store on the component. So let's do that. So to do that, let's call it view store. Okay. So inside the view store, let's call it let view comment equal to f use selector. Okay. Which gives us a function good. And inside the function we can have our state that will return the state with a feature key. So we call it comment key, COMM, comment key. Now where is our comment key? Our comment key is in the reducer. Okay, so let's import our comment key. So we say import comment key from where? From Redux. Again, comment Redux. Then reduce again. So our command key is ready. So now to view our data on the store, we can use a pre-tag. So let's call the pre-tag and say pre-tag. Let's call JSON. Okay. We say JSON dot stringify bracket view comment. Good. The view comment. So this view comment, we check it on a component. Good. So we can see we have the data now on our component. So we can see all the data. We don't need to go back and forth. So that is that with our data. So next thing we would like to do is to bring our data.name inside a component, which is the comment box. Okay, so let's see how to do that. We go back to our body. We cut the container. Okay, we cut it. Then we say let's call a GSS. So we say view view comment dot data dot map to bracket, create a function then inside that we can say here item. An item should what? Should return what? Return to bracket a div. Okay, to return a div, and inside that div we can have our key. Key equals go item dot id. Okay, so after between the key we can have our how do we call it, our container. So that is that. So instead of our dummy test, we can say item dot name. Okay, so that is that. Let's check our screen again. So guys, that is that. Next thing to do is to take the pre tag off. So the item dot name we give us, you see the ID one that we used. Have the ID and the name. So let's take the pre tag off. We go back. Take the pre tag, comment it. Let's check it out again. Great. So guys, that is that. Thank you for sticking through. Don't forget to do good. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.